Alright boys, we came from a walk. Today was kind of a chill day actually. Did a whole bunch of work, filmed some story flows, did some client deliverables actually. Went to the grocery store in between, but all in all pretty chill. Been sitting behind my desk all day. But we got tournament today, and it's not like any other tournament. It's a little bit extreme if you ask me, because we have like two games like next to each other. So we have 4 times 25 minutes. So that way I just need to have a shit ton of carbs. And like this morning I had like eggs, whole grains bread, still gotta focus on proteins. But then I had this huge pancake next to it, and I just wanted to make sure that until I get to there, until I get to the tournament, like I just need to keep my mind sharp as well. So that way, went on a walk right now, did some grounding with my dog, exposed myself to sunlight. And right now we have another meal before we leave, because it is 1 hour and 15-minute drive to there actually. And I want to show you guys what we have going on here. So right now for the lunch, we have chicken breasts with some veggies and tomato sauce in there, and I'm cooking pasta next to it. Basically a whole food option. And then we meal prepping, also a whole food option, which is an oat bar, like a kind of a homemade thing. We got a bunch of oats in there, Greek yogurt, zero fat. I didn't actually know they have zero fat Greek yogurt. A whole bunch of bananas, frozen berries, melted them, and dark chocolate in it. Forget anything. Yeah, and milk in there as well. And this shit just could not cook. Like I'm cooking it. It's in the oven bin for like now for 40 minutes, and it's still raw. So I'm gonna eat this before the game and after the game, so that way I really want to make sure that my body is getting those carbs in, and that my body is also getting those proteins in from milk and from the yogurt, because I want to make sure that I have those calories, that my body has the energy that it needs, so that way it actually uses the carbs for energy, not the proteins for the energy, because I need the proteins to repair muscle tissues and the carbs to replenish that glycogen. And I'm also thinking about squeezing a fresh orange juice, so that way I'm gonna raise my insulin levels. And when I'm gonna do that, when I'm gonna drink it after the first game and after the second game, and then I'm gonna eat, if I eat like an oat bar after that, after raising the insulin and drinking the orange juice, it's a little bit complicated. It's like biology kind of thing. But in simple terms, I'm gonna raise my insulin levels, right? And after that, I'm gonna eat an oat bar, so that way my body can make better use of those nutrients of carbs, proteins, and fats, right? So, gonna eat this, about to get ready, and yeah, let's get it, boys. Alright, I'm gonna eat this. After that I need to get ready, because we're in a little bit of a rush, but we'll get there on time. Like, all you've seen is whole food meals. And to all of you guys who watch my Instagram, you know that like I'm a big preacher of 90-10 rule, where 90% of the time you eat whole foods, you're dialed in. And by whole foods, I mean like single ingredient foods, not even protein bars or whey protein or any of these supplements, right? You don't need any of those if you don't have the foundation of eating whole foods dialed in first, right? And the other 10% of the time, I eat the foods I love, brownies, dude, pancakes, you name it, I'm going crazy with it. And it's just the process and system that enables me to stay shredded year round below 8% body fat, simply because I'm locked in and I'm giving it my all, 100% of effort when I need to be dialed in, when I'm eating whole foods. I'm actually eating whole foods. Like today, I'm not gonna stop by any gas station, buy any protein bars, buy any of these oat bars at the gas station, sandwiches, you name it. No, I'm preparing myself for success, because success is when preparation meets opportunity, right? So, like, even though I'm busy, everything is at 5,000 horsepower right now after eat this, gonna get ready, boom, 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 boom. Like, I still need to be locked in. I could use, vacation, for example. I could use tournament as an excuse to not eat whole foods, to not be dialed in. No, but that's simply the standard I'm willing to hold myself to. That's simply the price I'm willing to pay in order to have that body, right? And the same goes for the opposite. I try to make, as many times as possible, I try to be dialed in with eating whole foods while I'm at home. So that way, when I'm on vacation, I can actually, make time to eat the foods I love. But today is not that day, right? And I need to be dialed in because I kind of reached that mark of 10% and I need to be dialed in. So yeah. A little bit in a rush, but I think we'll make it. Are we? Yeah. Oh, okay. We will. It would be like a lot more easier to just start sooner, right? Like everything would be perfect, but just like it is with every single thing, that way you constantly have that bug in the back of your mind. That way you constantly have that thought in the back of your mind, oh, I'm gonna be late, oh, what this, what that. And then as you try to move through traffic, you feel like everything is just against you, every single red light, every single car, and you just start dealing with every single small thing, and you let that shit affect you, let that shit make you nervous, make you angry, and you just start making animalistic decisions. And I've been that guy for the longest time, not only in traffic wise. You can think about this in any aspect of your life. Like when you just try when you just not try, but when you start thinking with your emotions, dude, you're just digging a hole for yourself. Because once you allow your emotions to dictate your decisions, to dictate your mindset, to control the way you think, to control the way you act, that's when everything just starts going downhill. Although at first it seems like, oh, it's like such a good thing to let your emotions out, to let your anger out, and to let all those things out, but actually it's just like a downward spiral to fucking nothing. But if you're just like, I'm gonna get through traffic, I'm gonna try to make it through as best as I can, if you think about it that way, then all of a sudden, like, everything just starts to go in your favor. It's like in games. Every single time when I would play, I would think about this little detail and that little detail and this and that, and because I was because I was constantly overthinking about every single small thing, shit got worse. But when I was just like, all right, I'll give it my best, I will, put one foot in front of another, that's when I just got in that flow state. And if you was to ask me like, oh, how did you do such a good move, or oh, how did you play so good, I would be like, fuck, I don't know. I was just in a flow state. I mean, I was just in a freaking zone, and that was it. Yeah, and it's the same thing with every single thing that you can imagine. Having your dream body, like trying to be a perfectionist when it comes down to all of the inputs that you do, nutrition, training, recovery. Like you try to be perfect. You guys just try to be perfect constantly, all of the time. There's a difference between perfect and just giving it your 100% of effort to things. And that's one of the big things I had to deal with and kind of get over with, because I was constantly a perfectionist. I was constantly just chasing perfection and wanted things to be perfect. And if they weren't, the outcome then has defined me. And I felt like I was starting from the beginning again. And when I switched that thought process to, all right, I'm just gonna put one foot in front of another, I'm just gonna give it my 100% of effort to this, even if I failed, I had no regret, because it was always when I was half in and half out. It was always when I was half-assing things, when I didn't score that goal, when I didn't get the outcome that I wanted to, when shit didn't go in my favor, when then I started overthinking about every single small thing. And it was always when I was just like, all right, I'm gonna give it my 100% to this thing, that's it. It was always when I've done that, when even though if I failed, right, I didn't regret that shit. Why would I gave it my 100%, and why would I regret making a decision that I thought was the right to make in the past? Why would I regret that, right? And like focusing on giving it my 100% of effort to those things saved me so much energy, time, enabled me to be more intentional with every single thing that I was doing. And that's when everything was just in that's when I was doing just everything as if I was in a flow state. And if you was to ask me like, oh, but you're working all of the time, Everything is constantly at 5,000 horsepower. Games, business, training sessions, early wake up, reading books. Like, that's not freedom, dude. It is for me, if you ask me. I still go out with the boys, right? Have a laugh. I still eat the foods I love. The amount of restrictiveness, if you want to call it that way, it's up to you. How much are you willing to actually take it? If you think about it as a racetrack, I said this on my Instagram on one of the reels, and you don't go through the whole racetrack racing 200 miles per hour. No, you don't. When you face a corner, you need to know when to leave your foot off the gas. And in order to finish first, in order to finish in the place you want to finish, you gotta drive as best as you can and learn how to better leave that foot off the gas. Learn how to go faster when you're on the long straight. And it's the same here. I'm ready to go 200 miles per hour every single day, and I'm willing to leave that foot off the gas as well, because I was that guy for the longest time who wouldn't leave that foot off the gas, right? I wouldn't leave it. I would just be constantly working like a robot and living like a robot, not going out, being in my room all the time, being at home all the time. I still trained like an animal, don't get me wrong. I still did all of those things, but I didn't have any social life. You know what I mean? I cut it out all of the people. When I faced the corner, all right, cool. I managed to get through it sometimes, but the amount of restrictiveness that has been compounding, like I said, one day just has to explode. And so it did. And I went to another extreme, just trying to escape all of this by going blackout drunk, doing all of those things. And that's when I prioritize those things over my health, over my body, over my standards, over my priorities at the end of the day. And that way I just found myself to be lost. And that's why the thing that I've said to you about freedom, what freedom means to me, works for me so well and works for my clients so well. Because do you really party for yourself? Do you really drink for yourself? Do you really do all of those things for yourself? Do you really do all those things to lift yourself up? Because I see those things as just like eating processed food, just like eating the foods you love, to use it as a springboard to make even better progress, to use it as some kind of to jump from it and to come better from it, and to enable yourself to make the process long-term sustainable. Are you doing those things with that reason, for that reason, or are you doing those things for someone else? Are you doing those things for the looks, for the conversations people are going to have about you? Are you doing those things for the thoughts you want other people to have about you? Are you doing those things for the chicks? That's a question I asked myself, and I found out, yes, I'm actually doing all those things to chase external validation and just to play the safe game, not make any enemies, be friends with everybody, fit in with everybody, not to be a weird guy everybody would talk about, everybody would talk shit about. Now I simply just don't give a fuck, right? Because I'm doing the things that I'm doing for myself, to lift myself up. We took the W, we won the tournament, won the first game. This one we had a draw. A little bit extreme if you ask me, 2 games in a row. But we played good, man. Played good. And like, we didn't start as we could in the first half, honestly. But like, fuck it, you know, it's a team sport. At the end of the day, each one has to give it his 100%. And I could be like, oh, it's a draw, it's the team's fault. But at the end of the day, you can just control the things that are within your control. Like, what you can actually control is to give it your 100%. And after that, you have nothing to actually regret. I don't know how to tell you. You just gotta chase that second wind, kinda. You gotta be a little bit delusional in your mind to be like, shit's not going your way, you're leading by 5, and just have to push, and eventually this like wall is gonna break down. Right, had to move, and they gotta clean up the place. But yeah, what I was trying to say is you just gotta be delusional. Believe in yourself, gotta have that self-belief in yourself, and this second wind will come. Second wind is already a reality. It's already a reality. You just gotta do the inputs to make it one. It's already a reality, man. The result is already there. It's all about perspective at the end of the day, man. It really is about your self-talk. One of the most underrated things, in my opinion. The only thing that you can control in today's world is your own mind. And as corny as this is going to sound, as deep as this is going to sound, they're trying to take this away from you by social media. So you gotta be cautious with your energy, dude. That's why I eat the foods I eat, to have a sharp mind. That's why I have the habits that I have, because I know how important my energy is, because I know how important being intentional with my energy is, to have a sharp mind. That's why I train the way I train. That's why I train so much. Take care of my body, have a sharp mind, to think clear. That's why I go to bed at 10 p.m., dude. That's why I like to wake up early, to prioritize my self-improvement. All of those little things connect with each other. And at first they don't seem like much, they really don't. But as they add up, as they compound, bro, the compounding effect, shit's crazy. And coach asked me in the halftime, you know, they have pizzas here. If I want a pizza, it's free. Pizzas and beers. The boys are gonna have ones. But at first I was like, yeah, give me tuna pizza. I just wanted to be kind, because I'm not the kind of person who wants to throw food away actually. So, and then after 30 seconds, I was like, well, I'm gonna give it to one of my teammates. I gotta still hold myself to the highest possible standard. And I could be like, oh, I deserve it. I had a good game, played good. In my opinion, still could have done some things better. But I just need to hold myself to the highest possible standard. Because I know if I start doing this, it's not gonna seem as big at first, but this shit is just gonna compound. But I'm gonna start negotiating with myself and all of the other things slowly, without even recognizing it on a subconscious level. And then things will add up, and then before I'll know it, I'll be negotiating with myself to go to the gym. I'll be negotiating with myself if I want to give it my 100% or even chase that second win. The way you do one thing is the way you do completely everything at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm gonna have orange juice right now and oat bars that I meal prepped for myself. And I'm gonna eat the food that was left from the lunch at home. When I come home, it's going to be 11 p.m. but still gotta get the right nutrition in. I'm gonna drink some magnesium. And yeah, about to hit a proper rest tomorrow, proper rest day. Might make the kid just 10K daily steps tomorrow. Do some client deliverables. Had to work in the program for my guy who started with the training preparations with his team this week, so gotta build him a new program. And yeah, it's gonna be a chill day. Maybe I'm gonna go to sauna, in the pool a little bit. Maybe play volleyball with friends. Who knows it? So yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.